Hey, I'm Alan Batista of Lake Tackle Kayak Fishing in the Chesapeake Bay, and this video is going to talk about how to make the perfect professional looking keel guard for your kayak, for your canoe, for any sort of plastic boat that may rub a little bit. Now right here is my solo skiff, and this is what I'm going to be working on today. I've got a Hobie Outback that's hanging out over there as well, that already has some keel protection on it. But let me give you here's the lowdown. This is the keel guard. And you can see how just perfectly it fits right there. Just nice custom job. It looks professional. I had a good idea. I saw a good video, rather. It was here it is. It was PVC. This started as a 2-inch PVC pipe. The guys were heat forming it. Really, it's not quite the professional look I want. It's hard to work with, and in fact, it has memory. So when I heat this up, it returns to basically tube form. So it's a lot harder to work with. What I have here, this is called KYDEX, KYDEX, and I'll give the details of that later. But it basically starts out like this plastic sheet. And I'll give you a rundown of how to turn this into what I just showed you here a second ago. The first thing you want to do is make a paper doll. Lay it out on a similar kind of size. And from there you cut it out. And basically you see the shape that I have. It gets, it's got two little nubs at the top. That's for more adhesive surface. And it gets wider down here at the bottom. And it gets skinny sort of in between, and the skinny part is basically where it does most of the curve. So you'll see there'll be ripples and things like that I'll show you how to work out, but if you keep it thin through that section, it works out really well. Basically I like to tape at the top and at the bottom to sort of mark it. That way I know my shape, what I'm working with, and form it. And then when I get my shape just cut out right from paper, and I'm satisfied with it, I'll go and I'll trim it out of the blank. All right, I'll show that in a second, but so here's the sheet, and you can see the part number on it. This is the KYDEX black. It's the 60 mil thick 12 by 12 4-pack. You can get a 4-pack, you can get a 1-pack or 2-pack, whatever it is, but I'm going to make a few of these, so I want to get the 4-pack. It's really simple now that you've got your paper doll cut out that we laid against the kayak. We lay it down. You simply trace the outline, score it with the razor blade. Okay, now that we have this, all we have to do is just crack it open, and now you've got your blank. I think I can get about 3 of these per sheet. And now all you do, you can take a simple pair of heavy-duty shears and just trim it. It's really, really simple to do, just like that. So I'll finish cutting all this out, and then we're ready for the heat forming step. Skip forward, and here is my blank. Okay, let me get this light out of the way, it's a little bright. Okay, I'll show you the area of interest. So I'm going to show you how to take it from this shape and heat form it. This is the 60 mil stuff. This is a lot thinner than the PVC, makes it just a lot easier to work with. So that's sort of the trick of this. Let me set up the camera and I will show you how to heat form it. Okay, I suppose that's rather satisfactory. Alright, I will line up, and what you'll see here is I've marked the midlines so I can kind of keep it in an approximate position. Alright, it may tend to want to walk on you as you form it. So I'll start with just a little Gorilla Tape. And this is just acts as a second hand. Okay. And I will line up the midpoint right along the center line of that keel. Put a piece of tape right there. And that'll be sufficient enough to sort of form it around to take the rough shape. And now I'm going to start getting ready to heat form this. And I'm going to do it sections at a time. I'll do this big section first, and I'm going to mold it around the keel. And once that cools, I'm going to tape that into place, and I'll work my way up until the very end. All right, you'll see that in a second. For this step, you'll need a heat gun. Any will do. It's pretty straightforward, easy to do. I'll let this heat up for a second. In the meanwhile, I'm going to grab these oven mitts. And basically, I'm going to hold this back right about to that center line where I know it is and heat it up. And you'll see this will get really floppy. It'll just fall over on itself. And once you hit that point, then you can start working on it. But don't start working on it until you hit that point. You can see now it's starting to fall. It's starting to really fall on itself and become soft. Now it's really floppy. And just give it another second more, especially around the edges. Okay. I'm going to put the heat gun down, and I'm just going to take this, make sure I'm on the center line, and I'm going to just press up and hold it. And I'm going to hold this for just a short time. It does not take long, but you want to make sure you get your hands really good around it, and patience is key. It will not take long, I promise. But you want to make sure it's good and molded around that hole. And not quite there. And of course you can always heat it back up. You may take an extra step or two to go back. But you can kind of see, that's got a nice shape there. And that's kept to that. So now I got to work along. Now this part is practically done. I'm going to go back to my Gorilla Tape, okay? I'll get a good healthy piece of the Gorilla Tape. Make sure that's lined up where it's supposed to be. And now, that part is pretty well secure. All right. And I might do another piece just for extra security. Right here. Okay, now I'm gonna put my gloves back on. Start the gun up again. I'll drop all my stuff on the floor. And actually what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this part off. I don't need this anymore. That will just go along for the ride at this point. All right, I'll do this in this will be one of 2 more steps, so probably 3 steps total. I'll have wrapped this whole thing around. My hands are just only so big, and you can see right away, that's starting to fall in on itself. I don't want to work in one area too much. I don't want to burn it, obviously. All right. Just repeat that step. I'll make sure I wrap that right around and kind of pinch that around the hole, making sure I'm aligned and centered Like I said, it's easy to walk on you. And press it firmly against the hull. Patience is key. And you can really start to see things taking shape now. Okay, there we go. That's pretty well dried. And once again, we will continue with the Gorilla Tape. That way, if anything were to get a little too heated down here, the Gorilla Tape keeps it in shape, doesn't let it walk. Okay? All right, once again, start the gun up. And I'm going to go after all this up here. And you can start to see it falling down on itself, becoming much more flexible, and ready for me to mold it. All right, that's good enough. And of course, we're going to have some bubbles here. Don't worry about those. Make sure you get it all the way up the hole. I'll go back and get those bubbles later if I can't get them with both my hands. I feel like I'm doing a pretty good job of it right now, so I might not have too many bubbles. Practice makes perfect with this. I've done a few of these, so I'm learning as I go. But it's really not too hard. Really not too hard at all. All right, a little bit of patience, and we pretty much have a really nice keel guard now. I am going to go back and get a couple of those bumps because I want it to be really nice and perfect. So one more piece of Gorilla Tape. That'll secure the end up there, and I'm going to take this one off. Okay, it's actually pretty good. Maybe I don't want to monkey with it too much, but I'm kind of a perfectionist, so I will. Sometimes perfect is the enemy of good enough. Let me give you a little snapshot of what it looks like over here. There you go. You can see a little bit of bubble there. I don't like, but pretty good job. It looks really nice and professional. That's what I'm really after. So let's put this back up here. I'm going to work out just that little bubble there, and I think we'll be done. So once I pull this off, I don't really have to do too much other than either bond it with Marine Goop. That's all it really takes. It doesn't take much. There we go. Hold that back up. And I'll press really hard. Get all those bubbles worked out. And see how quickly it sort of cools to a point where it's solidified. It doesn't take much at all. Really, that's it. So just in those few minutes, we built a custom keel guard, hull protector, whatever you want to call it, skid plate. So I'm going to pull this off. I'll show you what we've done. All right, So, here in a nutshell, this is what we produced. Very, very nice. Professional, sleek, clean, cheap, really, really easy to do. Like I said, I looked for a very long time to try to figure out what is the best solution. I've tried Gorilla Tape, I've tried, like I said, the PVC solution. This is just the cleanest, most professional, low-cost solution, and I just wanted to share it with you guys. So, hope you appreciate it. Follow us along on Facebook or on YouTube, and I hope to see you guys in the water. Until next time, enjoy your hole protector.